And I'm Keith McGilvery. So good to have you with us. We are live at the Coast Guard Academy this morning. Some 240 cadets set to graduate, and commencement speaker this year, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, due at campus for that ceremony getting underway at 11 a.m. We will have team coverage throughout the morning, from fans to the airport to here across grounds. But as we get started this half hour, we do want to get caught up on the forecast. Meteorologist Dana Marenti. It's a little cool here in New London right now, but it's my understanding things are going to be heating up throughout the day. All right, thank you, Dan. Dana Marenti will be joining me here from the Coast Guard in just a little bit as our team coverage continues. Again, the president expected to address graduates at 11 a.m. That ceremony is closed to the public, but there are opportunities where you may be able to catch a glimpse of the Commander-in-Chief as he makes his way here to New London. Lauren Zenzi just down the road with one of those spots in mind. Lauren, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my friend Keith. You look great this morning. Hope everyone is having...
All right, thank you, Lauren. An exciting morning indeed for many of these 240 cadets graduating today. It is the biggest day in their Coast Guard career thus far, and it is also a day that many did not know that they would see. Graduation last year virtual. It is happening in person this year, and so many have so much to be excited about. Our team coverage continues this morning with Fox 61's Alicia Machado. Our thanks to Alicia for that. And we are learning this morning that masks will not be required at graduation. So all those moms and dads, Margot, will be able to see their sons and daughters full smile, which is some great news there. Coming up new in our 6 o'clock hour, President Biden has been here before as vice president. We went into the archives. We'll share some of what he had to say the last time he was here in New London. But for now, live at the United States Coast Guard Academy in New London this morning, Keith McGilvery, Fox 61 News.
All right, our thanks to Keith out there. And
Erica and Tim, good morning. It is one of those mornings where we are just so excited to be live and local from 4 to 11 a.m. The president due here at 11 o'clock to speak to some 240 graduates. And with the magic of a click of a button, check this out, meteorologist Matt Scott. As the day gets started, the sun is coming up over campus. We will be checking in with Angelo, Lauren Zenzi, Tony Terzi. A lot to get to, but we do want to check in on the forecast first, and I know you're standing by. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning to you, Keith. I'm going to require you to keep that button handy so you can go click so we can see that beautiful shot out there, because it is.
Good morning from the United States Coast Guard Academy in New London. I'm Keith McGilvery as our team coverage of President Biden's visit here to graduation continues. Do want to point out, new at 6:15, we are getting a better picture of what the president's itinerary looks like for the day, learning within the last couple of minutes that he will depart Joint Base Andrews at about 8:35 this morning. And rather than coming directly here to New London, he is stopping in Rhode Island first before making his way to the United States Coast Guard Academy. So we are keeping an eye on that. Any details about his travel as he makes his way here, we will bring to you. But we do know that this campus is very excited as 240 cadets get ready to graduate, and their leader, who works with students each and every day on this campus, joined us on the Fox 61 Morning News to speak to the excitement.
Very exciting here at the Coast Guard Academy here in New London, Connecticut. We're happy to host our Commander-in-Chief and the 46th President of the United States.
Captain Ray from the class of 1997. He has stayed in touch and connected to the Coast Guard professionally throughout his entire career. Appreciate him checking in with us. And meteorologist Matt Scott, everybody seems to remember the weather on their graduation day. It is beautiful here in New London, but it could be pretty toasty, my friend.
And you know what? Last year it
morning.
Erica and Tim, good morning. A great start to the day here in New London. Presidents have been speaking at the Coast Guard graduation since the 1960s. And as President Biden prepares to make his way here to New London, boy, oh boy, are we seeing all kinds of security. So really within the last couple of minutes, this shot here from the roof of our storm tracker, that security dog has been sniffing cars as they've been coming into this property. Of course, this graduation event is closed to the public, but we have you covered from all angles throughout the morning. If you are looking to catch a glimpse of the president, there are specific spots where you will and will not be able to do that. There are a lot of rules we want to break down for you this morning. If you want to get in on the excitement, Lauren Zenzi live in New London, not far from me this morning. Lauren, where are you, and what should we know if we're looking to enjoy the commencement from afar?
So excited to be here. So for now, Keith, I'll send things back over to you.
All right, thank you, Lauren Zenzi. Folks will remember when First Lady Dr. Jill Biden was in Connecticut, we saw huge crowds turn out to celebrate her visit. We expect some of that today, and we will be checking in with Lauren all throughout the morning. Again, about 240 cadets expected to graduate from the Coast Guard Academy today. They will be required to provide 5 years of service after graduation, but learning about 85% of them go on to serve longer than that. So we thank all of those men and women for their service. Again, the commencement ceremony getting underway at 11 a.m. The president expected to leave Joint Air Force Base Andrews at about 8:35. We're keeping an eye on that as well. We have much more from New London as we continue, but for now in New London at the Coast Guard Academy, Keith McGilvery, Fox 61 News.
And we'll, of course.
Good morning from the United States Coast Guard Academy in New London. Good to have you with us. I'm Keith McGilvery as our team coverage continues from commencement 2021. About 240 cadets graduating today from the United States Coast Guard Academy. And the Coast Guard, a rich history here in the United States with roots dating all the way back until 1790. Of course, it is an institution here in Connecticut, specifically in New London, and that because this piece of land where I am this morning donated back in 1932. And while many things have stayed the same, others have changed in the decades since. Of course, back in 1976, the Coast Guard welcomed female cadets and international students for the very first time, and today about 34% or so of those cadets are women. We have team coverage throughout the morning. The president is expected to leave Joint Base Andrews at about 8:35, heading to Rhode Island before making his way here. That is a good point. We just saw all of those police motorcycles come on by. Security here is tight. I suspect they are in town for what's going on here behind me. But a lot going on, Matt. Graduation's getting underway at 11 a.m. Matt, my photographer, Freddie Mathis, is cracking up at me. I think those motorcycles gave me a bit of a startle, Tim and Erica, but it is proof to the fact that security is tight. This event closed to the public. We have already been moved once this morning. But hopefully a good vantage point. We have you covered throughout the morning. How did I do with those motorcycles? Not bad, right? Come on.
You did all right. I would have thought you could have heard them coming a while ways away, Keith. But yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much, Keith. All right, moving on.
You got it, Erica and Tim. Tradition back here at the United States Coast Guard Academy this morning. We are thrilled to have team coverage all day long as President Biden makes his way here to the campus. We know this year some 240 cadets will graduate before embarking on careers in public service, and things looking very different this year than they did last year. You'll remember last year things were virtual. Well, this year things back in action here on campus, and so much so that security is out in full force this morning. This live look at the front gates where security professionals, police, and other authorities have been searching cars as they come in and out of campus. You see that dog there sniffing vehicles as they get ready to get onto campus, and it is a limited number of people who will be attending that graduation. It is closed to the public, only a few tickets per family, but there are opportunities to check out the president as he makes his way from Joint Air Force Base Andrews, eventually to Rhode Island, and then here to New London. There are things that fans should know if you're looking to catch a glimpse of the action this morning. Our team coverage continuing with Lauren Zenzi. And Lauren, you were in the place to be if folks are looking to catch a glimpse of President Biden a little bit later on this morning. All right, Lauren, looking forward to checking back in with you in just a little bit. And obviously a lot of attention for the president's visit later on this morning. But the president would not be here if it were not for the class of 2021. About 240 or so cadets from across the country and around the world graduating this morning. Many excited to hear from their commander-in-chief.
We didn't know if he would be able to because of everything, the pandemic, everything going on. But our class is so excited. I am so excited that he's going to be there, and it really is an honor.
All right, also part of Commencement Week, cadets participated in one final march in front of proud parents and loved ones Tuesday after a year. So many of them, moms and dads, telling us they'd been separated because of the pandemic. The graduation ceremony happening in person with some COVID-19 restrictions. Only 3 family members per person and proof of a vaccination or a negative COVID test within the last 24 hours. And we did learn this morning that with that information, folks will not be required to wear a mask at commencement. So full smiles in those family photos. So much for these families to be proud of. Again, want to give you a quick look here. That's our storm tracker. Here we go. Security out here this morning. They are checking cars as they are making their way in here. And Tim and Erica, you folks know it is really the Secret Service who rules the day. So we've already been moved once from an initial staging location across the street. The best of plans can be laid out. The Secret Service comes in and makes that final call. Of course, we saw that when First Lady Dr. Jill Biden came to Connecticut and the Vice President as well. So we are ready to adapt. If you're looking to catch the action, check in with us throughout the morning, the best spots to do all of that. But for now, I'll send things back to you guys.
Keith, thanks so much. We'll check back in just a few.
Good morning.
Tim and Erica, good morning. Tim, this one is specifically for you. Do you recognize this famous face? We were exploring the Coast Guard Museum with ideas that your kids and family will love as the Fox 61 Morning News continues from commencement 2021. Do you know who this is?
I do not. Can't see.
Good morning and welcome to Fox 61's special coverage of commencement 2021 at the United States Coast Guard Academy. Team coverage throughout the morning. Keith McGilvery alongside for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
My friend Dana Marenti.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. And what a day this is turning out to be.
Got the shades ready to go.
All right, thank you, Dan. A big day here at the Coast Guard Academy as graduation just a couple of hours away, all getting underway at 11 a.m. We know President Biden leaving Washington, headed to Rhode Island, and eventually making his way here for about 10:45 or so this morning. Presidents have been speaking at graduation here in New London for decades, and this morning we're taking a look back. It's a tradition that started in the 1960s. President Kennedy accepting an invitation to speak in '64, but after he was killed, President Lyndon Johnson took his place. Presidents Nixon, Ford, and Carter didn't address graduates, but the tradition did return with President Reagan in 1988. And it continued in '89 when George H.W. Bush came to New London. President Clinton spoke to graduates as Commander-in-Chief twice, first in 1996 and again in 2000. President George W. Bush took the podium in 2003 and 2007. And President Barack Obama was there as cadets celebrated their accomplishments in 2011 and 2015.
Wherever I am across the country or around the world, including Afghanistan, nowhere near an ocean, the most determined cheer from the crowd comes from our proud Coast Guardsmen, because usually there might only be one or two of them.
The last president to speak at graduation was Donald Trump in 2017.
You have to put your head down and fight, fight, fight. Never, ever, ever give up. Things will work out just fine.
It is certainly a location rich in history. You know, Margot Farrell and I traditionally spend weekday mornings crisscrossing Connecticut, checking out great places you can visit with your family, with the kiddos, and maybe not today because of all the security, but make a visit here to campus. Joining us, Lauren Laughlin with the Coast Guard Museum, which is right here in New London on this campus. Thanks for your time this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me, Keith. We're happy to be here, and congratulations to the Academy class of 2021.
Absolutely. And before we go anywhere, thank you for your service as a member of the Coast Guard. Tell us a little bit about the museum.
So the Coast Guard Museum is
that started in the 1960s. President Kennedy accepting an invitation to speak in.
As you know, the Coast Guard started in 17 by Alexander Hamilton, continues today. So we have a lot of history to cover.
And I love that you are so kid-focused. Tell us about this little guy here.
So I brought with me today Salty. He's one of the ambassadors we use when we're talking to younger generations. Salty was bought by a crewman on the Coast Guard cutter Ingham during World War II. It was supposed to go home to the crewman's family, but the crew on the cutter loved him so much that they kept him as a mascot, and he eventually found himself here at the Coast Guard Museum. So
yeah, cool. And if you pardon my reach, I'm going to grab these photos here if I can, because we were saying that the Coast Guard went co-ed back in the 1970s. What are we looking at here?
So that is a photo of the first women who went afloat in the Coast Guard. So that means this is the first women who were serving aboard Coast Guard cutters. Up until that time, cutters were crewed by all males.
Very, very neat. And we had some photos that you shared as well. Who's this guy?
So that is Alex Haley. He is the author of Roots. You can see Alex Haley's uniform and in display, and also he's part of our new Coast Guard and Pop Culture display.
And one more I wanted to share. I had Tim Lammers. I was quizzing him earlier. He wasn't sure who this is. Maybe with a closer look, what's this all about?
So that's Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer enlisted in the Coast Guard, and he was a yeoman first class.
Lauren, why preserve this history? This is such an important place for the state of Connecticut. On a day like today, it gets a lot of attention, but you are here year-round.
Yes, the state of Connecticut is rich in Coast Guard history, as it has a coast. Some of the first cutters were home ported here in Connecticut, and there has been a long-standing training mission here for our officers for over 100 years here in New London, Connecticut.
So after the presidential visit wraps up, families are looking for things to do over the summer. Where do they find you? How do they check you out?
So you have to go to the Coast Guard's website to see if the campus is open to the public. Once the campus is open to the public, the museum is open and free to all, and we look forward to seeing you there.
I will happily accept your invitation. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and congratulations on the great work you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for bringing this guy. All right, want to give you one last look here. You can see security is still tight on campus as folks begin to arrive for commencement that is getting underway at 11 a.m. A reminder, Fox 61, your home for continuing coverage all throughout the morning. Tony Terzi, Angela Bavaro, Lauren Zenzi, we have you covered throughout the day. Highlights from graduation as we continue anticipating the President of the United States here in New London at the Coast Guard Academy at about 10:45 or so this morning for a graduation ceremony that gets underway at 11 o'clock. But for now, I'll send things back to you.
Keith, thanks so much. Yeah, really, that last segment was really interesting.
Yeah, Lauren was fantastic. Tim, did you recognize Arnold Palmer with a closer look there?
Yes, but I don't know that I would have gotten it in time. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, it looks so familiar. But sometimes when you see them sort of out of their milieu, you know, without a golf club, it takes an extra second to sort of put two and two together, you know?
Yeah, Lauren is great. Pay her a visit once it is safe to do so. She would love to have you all. So much history here at the Coast Guard. Wanted to share some details with you. If I could for just a minute, the Coast Guard really with roots dating back to 1790 and Alexander Hamilton, and then so much attention on the campus here in New London. The citizens of New London donating the property here behind me in 1932 to establish the academy that we see here today. And boy, have things changed in the decades since. The Coast Guard Academy going co-ed in 1976. At that point, also welcoming international students as well. So a lot has changed in 1976. 36 women came here to this campus to forge forward with a new tradition and the Coast Guard as we know it today. A lot happening here. And of course, as that graduating class of about 240 cadets takes the field today, about 35% of them are women as well. That is just a bit more from here at the Coast Guard Academy. Tim and Erica, we'll send things back to you.
All right, Keith, thank you. We'll get back to you in a few more minutes. Now,
Erica and Tim, good morning from a beautiful day in New London as we get ready to celebrate the class of 2021. And things are back on campus after a virtual graduation last year. These cadets will be celebrating with their families and the President of the United States, all getting underway at 8 a.m. New this hour for you, take a look at what is just a beautiful scene here on campus of the Coast Guard Academy. Within just the last couple of minutes, cadets came out and fulfilled a daily tradition here on campus, raising the American flag high above campus. It is a beautiful campus this morning, and the sight of that flag looks just great. It is a big day for these cadets and their families, many of whom are already in town for the festivities and didn't know for quite some time if they would be able to celebrate with their young people this year. They are, in fact, ready to celebrate, and Alicia Machado has more of their story. Our thanks to Alicia Machado for that. So not only is it graduation day, but for many of these families, it's the first time they've been able to see their loved ones in quite some time. Of these 240 graduates, they are coming from all across the country and all around the world. We caught up with one mom, Kristen O'Brien, who made the trip to see her daughter graduate from Ohio.
We have not been able to see her because of the COVID restrictions this whole semester. So being able to spend time with her and go out to dinner, which we wouldn't have been able to do 4 months ago or even last year, and now also being able to do that without a mask is just wonderful.
We are so thrilled for her and all of the families out here celebrating today. So many excited to hear from the President of the United States. Of course, that a tradition that has been going on for quite some time. Lyndon Johnson, the first person to address the graduates here at the Coast Guard back in 1964. President Kennedy initially was scheduled to do that address, and unfortunately, as we all know the history there, it was Lyndon Johnson who stepped up that spring to deliver that speech to the graduates here. As for President Biden, he has been here before to address graduates, but the last time he did so, it was in his role as vice president under then President Barack Obama, and this morning wanted to share a bit of what he had to say as part of that visit. Wednesday is graduation day for the class of 2021 at the U.S. Coast Guard, and a presidential welcome is in the works.
It's exciting. The city's very used to hosting the President of the United States because generally the President comes here every 4 years.
It's a return to Cadet Memorial Field for President Biden.
You paid your dues, and now you're about to become full-fledged commissioned officers in the nation's oldest continuing seagoing service, the United States Coast Guard.
Biden last spoke at the New London commencement as vice president in 2013, addressing the huge responsibilities the men and women in uniform had been trained to tackle.
You alone are entrusted with protecting 95,000 miles of U.S. shoreline, our coast, our rivers, our bays, our islands. And your mission extends even beyond that, from the Horn of Africa to East Asia.
Last year's ceremony went virtual due to COVID-19, and this year social distancing will be in play at the private event. And at just about 8:07 this morning, you were taking a live look at the heart of this Coast Guard Academy campus. A beautiful shot here as the American flag is now high above the property, ready to welcome the President of the United States and so many proud families as commencement gets underway in just a little bit. Do want to remind you we have complete team coverage throughout the morning. Fox 61, the only station live and local from 4 to 11 a.m. Tony Terzi, Lauren Zenzi, Angelo Bavaro. We have every angle of this presidential visit covered for you. Want to point out, Tim and Erica coming up new in our next half hour. The mayor of New London will join us live here at the Coast Guard Academy to talk about the importance of this visit to his city. There's a lot to get to. There is a lot to celebrate on what is turning out to be a beautiful day here in New London. Back to you guys.
Keith,
Good morning, everyone, from the United States Coast Guard Academy in New London. Keith McGilvery joining you this morning as we anticipate the arrival of President Biden, who will be here on campus to address some 240 graduates. And as we get ready for that ceremony taking place at 11 a.m., a lot of parents, a lot of cadets curious about the weather. Meteorologist Dan Amarante joining me now. So Dan, two things here. We all remember our graduation day. Mine was a scorcher. I think you have this figured out. So I had visions of President Biden walking across the street to do an interview on the Fox 61 Morning News.
You never know.
So I went blazer with a tie in the pocket, but I think you have it figured out.
I got the short sleeves on. I'm a little bit more comfortable this morning, but you know, hey, you look a lot classier. That's nice. You're ready for the graduation. And now,
thank you, Dan. You're here with us throughout the morning. We're going to check back in.
All right, sounds good.
All right, some good stuff there. So Dan, talking about this great weather we are having today. We have seen in the past when First Lady Dr. Biden and the Vice President Kamala Harris came to Connecticut, we saw crowds of supporters come out and cheer them on. Lauren Zenzi is live this morning with some information on where you should be if you want a chance at catching a glimpse of the president. Lauren, where are you? What do we need to know? All right, Lauren, and to your point, our digital team has this story covered. If you know a graduate in the class of 2021, We would love to see a photo. Share 61 at fox61.com. The excitement largely around the visit from the president this morning, and he has a ways to go before he gets here, expected to leave Washington any minute now. And for more on his plan throughout the morning, Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro joining us live this morning from downtown New London. Angelo, good morning to you.
Send it back to you.
All right, Angelo, appreciate that. A reminder, we are live and local 4 to 11 a.m. each weekday morning. And on days like today, Tim and Erica, it is extra special. We were able to cover these stories unlike any other station in town. And what a story it is as we await the President of the United States to arrive here in New London. Yeah, an exciting morning. Tim and Erica, good morning. We are joined by New London's Mayor Michael Passero this morning for more on all of this. Mr. Mayor, as we talk to you, we'll take another look at these live pictures. The president getting on Air Force One this morning. You were here in 2017 when President Trump took the stage. What does a day like today mean to this community, to the state of Connecticut?
Oh, it's exciting. It shows off the city, of course, and you know, we're the center of the media attention for this event. But we never lose track that it's for the cadets.
And as we look here, the president well on his way to our region. Take us behind the scenes. What is it like? You were on that stage. What is the dynamic like?
It's exciting. It's exciting to be that close to the President of the United States, and I'm looking forward to it again today. You know, there's a special buzz every 4 years when the President is the commencement speaker.
And there is a buzz in your community this morning. You've already seen some familiar faces who are planning to head this way.
Yes, I met with Senator Chris Dodd down at a coffee shop down in New London, Muddy Waters, which is sort of the hub of the political universe in the city of New London. So we had a chat, and he's on his way up here.
I know he and the president are good friends.
That's what I understand.
We'll see them reunited this morning. Talk about the Coast Guard and what a place like this specifically means to your community.
So we're really proud to be a Coast Guard city, an official designated Coast Guard city, and it reflects that relationship between this community and this institution. The cadets have a special bond with the city of New London. They volunteer in our community, they volunteer in our schools. The campus is open to our community, and we really share in a rich history with the Coast Guard. New London's relationship with the United States Coast Guard goes back to the founding of this country. Of course, it was called the Revenue Cutter Service at the time, that Alexander Hamilton stood it up. But it's been in New London since its inception.
Dating back to the 1790s, this land donated in 1932. It is such a history here. Last year we were virtual. This year we are back to the real deal. That must just warm your heart as mayor.
Oh yeah, fantastic, and great for the cadets, and really for all of the college students that lost their chance at that graduation last year. So it's just great to be back within a year, and that's that's a testament to the work of our governor. That's a testament to the work of the president to help to bring us out of this pandemic. For us to be able to sit here like this without a mask.
I know, it is just so remarkable. I know that masks won't be required for graduation. To know that we have made progress. How is your city doing?
We're doing well. We've been involved in a really strong effort to get all of our citizens vaccinated in New London, to reach those underrepresented people, the marginalized people in our city. It's an incredible effort with a lot of partners.
We know these graduates have committed themselves to 5 years of service to our country. We applaud and thank them for that. Many of them, 85%, go beyond that 5-year requirement. What is your message to these young men and women who are really stepping up and making a career out of this?
Well, you know, we've been proud to have them in our community for 4 years. We've developed a bond with them. We don't want them to forget New London. We want them to come back. And if anything, they know from this city, which has a great military heritage with the Navy and the Coast Guard, that we respect their service and we understand the value of it.
Mayor Michael Passero, we appreciate your time here on the Fox 61 Morning News. Enjoy your day.
Thank you for having me.
Tim and Erica, we will send things back to you, but things well underway. Security is tight. We're going to check back in with Lauren Zenzi in just a little bit to find the best vantage point for you as we anticipate the president's arrival, and you may just want to be able to catch a sneak peek. But for now, live at the Coast Guard Academy this morning, I'm Keith McGilvery, Fox 61 News.
Keith, thanks so much, and please.
And when could we see him here? All of those details ahead in just a little bit. And as we say good morning to you at 9, a very special guest joining us to kick off the hour, Police Chief Peter Reichert joining us on the Fox 61 Morning News. Chief, good morning and thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Keith.
It is an exciting day for your city.
This is big for the city of New London. Anytime the president comes to the Coast Guard Academy, the city polishes itself up, but everybody comes out and everyone gets to see the star that the city of New London actually is.
Talk about that dynamic. I know there are secrets you can't give away, but when a visit of this magnitude comes to life, what does your department do?
Upon initial notification, we start working on deployment plans and how we're going to react. We contact the U.S. Secret Service and we start working with them and figure out dates and times of the event, and then we order our entire department to work, and we start reaching out to neighboring departments for mutual aid. Today we have approximately 100 local police officers on the ground at this event.
What does that teamwork mean for you?
A lot of coordination between myself, my command staff, and the chiefs of the other police departments.
We have already been moved once this morning. The Secret Service rules the show, to be expected, I would suppose, when the president comes to town.
That is correct. Secret Service is in charge. We're there to assist them with the security on the exteriors and any kind of motorcade routes.
Chief, we have seen huge crowds. The First Lady was in town recently in Connecticut, the Vice President as well. What are you thinking about when it comes to crowds that might turn out?
We plan ahead. We know that political figures bring protests, either for the political head or against the political head. Last president was here. We had probably 500 people who were protesting in a crowd, both for the president and against the president. So we are planning ahead. We have a number of officers, uniform and plainclothes, will be in the crowds just monitoring everything. Policing
has certainly been in the spotlight over the course of the last year. Are you doing things differently today than you may have done back in 2017?
Yeah, we are actually. As you can see, we all have body cameras on today, so my entire department will be filming any kind of interaction they have with anybody in the public, so we'll be able to play our video back to show what took place. Plus, we, de-escalation tactics, we've been teaching those for years, and we also have our CIT officers more and more trained every year, so we can talk to people and try to talk them down from anything if we have to.
Chief, what do you want folks to know, either your residents here in New London or folks who may be coming from out of town to try to catch a glimpse of the president? What's your message to them?
My message is, if you are in traffic, just be patient. It'll move through. Once the motorcade, or in this case, the air wing comes in, we have to stop traffic, so that's probably a 15 or 20 minute period in certain streets. From the exterior, you will probably not be able to get a glimpse of the president. You may see the helicopters flying in, the helicopters flying out, or you may get a quick glimpse of the motorcade as it comes from the helicopter into the academy on the north ends of the grounds.
Are you able to fairly effectively isolate that route, or is a significant portion of your city going to be impacted once the president makes his way here?
This is a little bit different than years past. Years past, they would motorcade him in from the Groton New London Airport. This year, they're doing a Marine One is flying him into the academy grounds, and a very small motorcade route to get him to the actual ceremony site. So we're able to isolate a lot and work with the neighbors in that little small section of the city to make sure that we have cooperation, no vehicles on the street, and that we have a safe event.
All right, well, if you see Marine One before I do, extend the invite. We'd love to have the president here.
Definitely. Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you for having me here today.
All right, Chief, I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Keith.
All right, so we want to continue our team coverage this morning. We talked about those crowds that we are anticipating throughout the day. Where should you station yourself? What can you bring? What do you need to leave at home? Our team coverage continuing. Lauren Zenzi in a prime spot. Lauren, where are you and what do you know? All right, Angelo, and I couldn't let you go without letting viewers at home know that our Day Trippers tour continues. We'll be back out on the waterfront in New London with the Coast Guard all morning long tomorrow, so join us for that. Meanwhile, there's a lot more to get to this morning on the Fox 61 Morning News as our team coverage continues through 11 a.m., anticipating the arrival of President Biden. And you can see right here behind me a number of security vehicles just whizzing by my head. It is pictures like this, Matt Scott, that we have seen really all throughout the morning. More coming right now. All these dark-colored sedans likely connected to the security here at the Coast Guard. The president arriving on Marine One. I'm looking out for the helicopter. I borrowed Dana Morante's aviators this morning, so maybe that gets me some inroads with the president. A one-on-one, I'd be happy to take it. But for now, Matt Scott, with shades and a beautiful day. I mean, we've all been saying it, but it is so true. I'll send it back to you.
It's a good look on you, Keith, absolutely. And you're going to need it for the sunshine out there today. Temperatures on the Weather Watch this morning in the upper 60s, low to mid 70s already. Bridgeport, New Haven, Chester 71.